In one of my dreams, I saw myself laying on the ground, lifeless, not moving, not breathing. Even I thought I was trying so hard to move, to scream, and to open my eyes. At that time, I saw a vision of myself that I have been trying to fix and change and heal. And I realized no matter what I ever did, she would never be enough. But I saw that there was another self around her that was, like I say, had never been hurt. Also didn't have to improve or do anything. She was just perfect the way she is. And so, from that moment on, my journey has been to know myself. I was so grateful when I wake up from that nightmare. Know thyself and be authentic to myself has been the missions and the visions that I live on. And that's really the core. Know who and what you really are. Know what you are really made of, what you are really made for. And so that's been my journey. And I had many challenges through the beginning of that journey. There was a lot of challenges in there. But every challenge was the opportunities for me to realize I wasn't trying to convince or control anything outside of me. But I had to win the argument within me. I had to win the conflict within me. There was something about me I had to believe. And I know and I love. And so then I have to find those qualities again within myself. My health, my wealth, my worth, my work, my whole world. Because we don't really live in the world. The world, the universe is in us. And relationships are in us. We are not in relationships. I got to bring out all the hard parts in me, the ugly part, and be held in just unconditional love. Because it was a manifestations of we end up training people how to treat us based on how we treat ourselves. We attract relationships based on our relationships with ourselves. And so I had a great relationship with myself after going through that process. I got my abundance back, my everything double, because I was willing to fall back in love with myself, really anchor myself in a place where I did not need to get the approval, the validations. I did not need to control the outside world or to let people see me a certain way. This kind of work, like really growing and awakening spiritually and in consciousness and developing your true spiritual character. It is not about if I do all these things, nothing bad will ever happen in my life. It is not about if I do all these things, there will never be sickness, there will never be luck, there will never be crisis. Show me one great master, leader, teacher, healer where this is not the case. You know, we got crucifixions and assassinations, disease and drama everywhere. The difference is it did not kill them. Even if it seems to kill them, it actually released and unleashed more of what I call the heart of the gold and the soul of the steel. It allowed them to have a soul that was bendable and unbreakable by the world, and a heart that would never close no matter what happened. That's the power. That's the vitality. That's aliveness. That's youthfulness. That's ageless beauty and power. So that's what it's really about. If you're trying to do all this stuff to make sure nothing ever happened, you are already set yourself up for some pretty interesting experience. Because it's not going to be the case. If the weight is too heavy, we don't pray to make it lighter. We pray to get stronger. And then we do more reps. We build our muscle. We build our get up muscle. If we hit the mountain or we hit the wall, we don't give up. We learn how to climb and we climb the wall. We hit that mountain and we become a better mountain climber. We get stronger. We build all kind of muscle. If you ever climb the mountain, it builds some really interesting muscle. So that's the opportunity here on earth, in this earth school. All the wave of stuff, the grief, the things that have been growing through. I have become a really good surfer of the wave of consciousness. I'm learning how to hand on this awesome wave that moves through consciousness. And so that's what we are here to become on this planet Earth, is to become a really good surfer, to become a really good mountain climber of life, and having a great resilience and capacity to meet all of life. But ultimately, no matter how we are squeezed, all that's come out of us is love, is compassion, is patience, is generosity, and creativity. And that's been my experience throughout all this. The failed marriage, the betrayal, the loss of money, the heartbroken. It's like having your soul pulled out of your heart, one fragment at a time every day. And a broken heart really hurts when you get broken up with or something happens. But imagine having your heart shattered every day for years. That has been in the experience. And sometimes literally in the middle of the street, I'll just be taken down to my knees as a wave of grief that comes through me. And it's not even in my control. But because of the work, the inner work and the practice, and the mindful ability to honor of me, to not being resistant to any of me, which is more the shadow work. Just every single part, the neediness, the greediness, the selfishness, the angriness, the sadness, the grief is all part of the many color of our soul. We just have a misunderstanding of them. We have been conditioned to believe this is good, that is bad. This is very good, that is very bad. And that really create what Buddha called craving and aversions. We are always trying to get more of the good and get rid of the bad, and hold on to the good and don't let it go. And we are just in this ball of tightly wounded, string, and then life can't get through us. It's all stuck in these core meals of this good, this bad, this I should do this, I shouldn't do this, I can do this, I cannot do this, I am this, I am not that. Don't let it go, don't get near it. All of this is what the whole Garden of Eden metaphor is trying to tell us. We bought into this belief that there's two, and then we have been naming everything ever since, laboring, judging them, and then trying to navigate that. So as I have worked to heal a lot, I just don't have a lot of judgment anymore. It's just about allowing whatever needs to move through. Or an example is, there's a forest fire. Let it burn. There's a deep grief. I can watch and observe it and hold myself as that sobbing and that convulsions of energy to move through me. And then get back up, pick myself back up again, dust myself off and keep going. And so then the forest fire does its work. Like a forest fire needs a forest fire. A forest need a forest fire. Certain species need that heat, that intensity. And we do too. But the key is, again, not just to feel the feeling and then move on. But there's something more than that. There's something more that is always trying to emerge. You know, in the chaos theory, they say that if you step back far enough from this chaos, there is a larger order. And there's a new word for that. Actually, it's called chaotic. And it is true. There's always a larger order that is always seeking to emerge. And that's what my practice has always been. More than I can want to fix, to change, to heal, to control, to manipulate anybody or anything, including myself. I want to know the truth that set me free. I want to be a channel of the divine love and ultimately the reality. And so there's a patience that's required. It is as if you really want to know the truth about yourself and the truth about life more than you ever want to manipulate and control. It's like moving the deck chair around the Titanic. You will become receptive to it. There's a dimensions of you that the truth about you is never and can never be broken or diminished. And that truth about you is already whole and complete and beautiful and perfect and has everything in it. Just like the seed of an idea, or the oak is an acorn. The butterfly is in the caterpillar. Especially when it's starting to liquefy and fall apart inside the chrysalis, there is a butterfly emerging. And if you can use those analogies and feel the truth behind this, the first step is to keep reminding yourself that because we don't experience life as it is, we experience life through the lenses and the perception of our awareness and consciousness. It really is done unto to you as you believe. So the key is, what do I believe? And the key is to keep remembering whenever those we listen to a talk like this, and I would listen to this more than twice if I was you, if you're able to, because there's a frequency happening here. It's not just my words. There's actually a frequency. And if you're willing to listen and feel the resonance, and it's going to bring up resistance. Oh yeah, but you don't know my situations or how, or frustrated, or it's not fair, or why me? All that's going to come up. And as you keep coming back to this resonance, to this truth, inside the acorn is the oak. Inside the apple tree, the seed is the apple. Inside the caterpillar is the butterfly. Inside this that appears like a merry broken shell, there's something amazing. There's something so much more. Can you feel that? And then really just contemplate that and ask and sincerely want to know, what is the something more? What is the more of me that is trying to emerge by means of all these conditions? As I said before, just as many flora, many plants and trees, they need the fire. And some plants need really difficult rocky soil because the struggle to dig their roots into it activate the enzyme, and which allowed them to develop the hardiness. And the bark, they allowed them to survive and thrive in certain climates. And the jack pine, the glue on the shell is so hard that a fire will melt it and open it up and release it new seed and open up the canopy. So those crises, those challenges, I'm telling you what I know. Lean on the energy of that. Those crises are not happening to you. They are happening for you. It is true. And the key is, as much as possible, do not keep reacting, coming from a victim place or blame. Notice that, but keep asking, keep becoming more interested and get curious. I want to know the real truth, the real message, the real opportunities here. Who am I really? What am I really make of and make for? What is these situations trying to cultivate in me? What qualities is it trying to call out of me? Who would I have to become in order to hold these situations with love, with peace, with grace? What would love say at this time? Ask that questions and notice the first answer. Well, for most people, the first answer would be F that. But then listen for the second answer. It could be, huh? And then you will start to notice. And what thought? What thought would I have to let go? And that I have always been thinking. If in order to hold this with grace and peace and generosity and love, what new thought would I have to embrace? What habits of action I need to let go of in order to hold all of this? What new habits might I need to embrace? What emotional pattern? Because our emotions are weather patterns. If you notice and look closely enough, you don't just have all these random emotions for no reason. They come in cycle and they are like weather. You can start to see there is a pattern. Some of them are daily, some of them are monthly, some of them are seasonal, and you can start to notice that. And as soon as much as you can notice that, is a pattern of thinking, a pattern of feeling, and you can start to get a little space between it and know that, oh, that is just this mental emotional weather, and it's trying to move through me and moving through the sky of my mind. But I am not that, because I can observe it. Hold a space for you to observe it. What were you thinking? How are you feeling? And if you just take a little time to do that, you will start to get a little space, and that energy start to transmute. So these are some simple exercise and practice. They are very simple and they're not always easy. So really get anchored in the truth. I want you to really want to know what is true about you. What is so good about you that nothing can destroy you? What are you made of? What is really here? And you learn to live more from insight than eyesight. You get to get the Jedi mindset, right? This is why Jesus said, judge not by appearance, but judge righteously judgment. He was saying, having eyes you could not see of what is really here. Having ears you cannot hear what is really here. What's really here is amazing. It's like heaven, but you can't see it because you are judging by the limited senses, which are just protecting your limited perception. And now you're experiencing a relative perception and projection of an infinite perfection. And so the more you want to know what is true, what is real, what's amazing about me in my life, what is God or love or life really creating, the more you lean into it, the more you become more interested in that perfect pattern, and the more it will emerge with the right conditions. Love, light, attention, patience is absolutely well emerged. It is planted in the soil of your soul. I can tell you firsthand, no matter what, if you lose all your money, I got you. If you lose your loved one, I got you. Divorce, I got you. Whatever it is, physical challenges, got you. You can be thriving and still have a happy and creative and abundance life no matter what condition you face. When you truly understand the true nature of the self, like the acorn doesn't improve itself into an orb. Nothing is improving itself. It might look like that, but even with evolutions look like, it's all these little random mutation and mistake. It's like, oops, okay, this is good. It's not what is happening. Evolution is the process of the unfoldment of that which was already unfold. There is a divine pattern or idea, just like in every seed. And when the conditions are right for the seed, it emerges. And the difference between us versus nature. Nature is indigenous, meaning those seeds require specific outer condition. And so nature is doing all these crazy things, weather and storm and fire to create the conditions. Animals grabbing stuff and then pooping on other stuff. And squirrel become the farmer of the forest, planting acorn everywhere and forgetting about 90% of them. So they grow into the tree. So there's all these things in nature that's happening. But we are not indigenous. We are endogenous, meaning we carry our weather with us. We are a walking greenhouse. We have the capacity to create the conditions, to shine our light. We are self-effusion. So no matter how dark it is outside, or even how dark it feels inside, emotionally, mentally, we can turn on the light and begin to shine. We, no matter how many cloudy are in the sky, or what side of the tracks we were born on, or whether we are in a desert with no fertility, we can fertilize our heart and our soul. It's all there. And that's true physically. There's a whole pharmacy in us to turn on any chemical that is needed. I know you know this. And there's a pharmacy in us. There's a greenhouse in us. There's food fertilizer. The meat and the wine and the water and the bread in the world knows not of. You know, it's all there. But we have been so conditioned since we were a little kid, giving us a rattle every time we got upset, or putting something above our cribs. So we wouldn't, God forbid, we would not look within. And we just got conditions to believe everything is out there. And it's pretty much nothing. It's a hot mess in here. And so, like the funny joke about the guy that's searching for something outside and the neighbor asks, it's in the dark. It's like, what are you looking for? I lost my key. Oh, he's looking under the street lamp in the dark. And looks and looks and looks and looks. After an hour, the neighbor asks, where did you lose it? Oh, I lost it inside, but the light is so much better out here. Right? We all did that. So we have just been conditioned to do that. But now we know it's all inside us. We just have not been conditioned. It's difficult to be alone with ourselves if you haven't done it. It's difficult to look within. It's difficult to be quiet and silent and do the digging. Dig the well inside of us so we never have to be reliant on the outside world. It takes something, right? But it starts with the desire, the intentions, and sincerely. You don't have to know how exactly, but a commitment. More than I want to fix, to change, to control, to manipulate anything I want, to know the truth that make me free, I want to be free. I want to be home. I want to be at peace. More than anything, I want to know the truth about me and about life. That free me so I can be at peace and I can be free to be who I really am. If you just keep praying that and intending that, you will start to create the conditions, what they call is reticular activating system will start to guide you to the insight, the idea, or whatever to actually awakening to that. And then, because where your attentions go, the energy flow as you start to realize. It is pretty amazing because we are unlimited. There's infinite, eternal life in us. You have to start to have this awareness. And that must begin to manifest as the youthing of your body, as the renewal and resurrections of your bank account. And the new opportunities, the new relationship, as people start to treat you differently because you are treating yourself differently.